Thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We'll be looking at a cool start to the week with a warmer finish to the week across the prairie here as we deal with a transition to a warmer pattern around Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the coming weekend. Precipitation is going to be rather dry across the prairie, especially across southern and eastern portions of the prairie, though we will see opportunities for at least light precipitation, but much of the heavier snow accumulation over the next 7 to 10 days looks to fall north of Highway 16. So you look at temperatures here on Monday morning, anywhere from -5, -6 across portions of southern Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan, a little warmer in southern portions of Alberta, where temperatures are actually above zero this morning, as a storm system kind of makes its way through portions of the prairie here, kind of the area of low pressure riding along Highway 16, with rain falling south of Highway 16 in a lot of areas. We'll talk about that here in a moment. First, looking at the satellite picture, and you see the big counterclockwise swirl to the cloud cover here. This is our area of low pressure now across British Columbia. It'll be slowly making its way, again, along, basically along the Highway 16 corridor here as we head through the next 48 hours. Precipitation right now, as we look at the radar, again, early on Monday morning, we've got some light precipitation, some light snow falling around the Grand Prairie area over toward Edmonton. And again, we'll see at least light precipitation through the primary prairie region, though snow going to be off to the north, light rain off to the south here, and that'll be illustrated by the high-resolution Canadian model. Again, a dry start to the week. I mean, this precipitation is just now emerging across the Grand Prairie area, and that'll be the case for much of the day today. It's not until late this afternoon and evening into the overnight that we start to see some of that light precipitation developing across areas south of Highway 16 in southern Alberta and southern Saskatchewan. And again, south of Highway 16, probably looking at light rain from this, with the snow being north of Highway 16, and especially where the accumulating snow is going to be found. So we'll go through the overnight, heading into sunrise on Tuesday morning now. That area of low pressure located across portions of southern and eastern Saskatchewan, moving over toward the Winnipeg area, just north of Winnipeg as we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening. Again, with the heavy snow falling well north of Highway 16 in Manitoba, with rain falling across the south. So in Winnipeg, likely looking at rain from this on Tuesday afternoon and evening, maybe with some snowflakes mixed in. Light snow could continue across southern Alberta into the day tomorrow as well. Now we'll look at temperatures, and you can see the storm system kind of ride through this corridor, and you'll notice it by the warmer air off to the south. And we'll bring this back here and watch this one more time. It really illustrates itself well during the afternoon and evening. Again, here would be the evening tonight, right around 6 p.m. tonight. Temperatures above zero, between 5 to 10 degrees above zero here along and south of Highway 16, with those cooler temperatures off to the north. As we go ahead and bring it into Tuesday afternoon, now the storm system has shifted off to the east. We see the warmth again across southern portions of Manitoba, but now cool air coming in on the backside. Temperatures back below zero across areas that were quite warm on Monday afternoon. Now this would be on Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures right around zero or a few degrees below across southern Alberta and southern Saskatchewan. And then as we head into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, that cooler temperature, a cooler air mass begins to overspread the entire prairie. So let's look at the upper level pattern here at 500 millibars over the next week, and it's really going to be dominated by this trough that's kind of elongated in this area from the Arctic across western Canada into the western U.S. over toward the Pacific Ocean. And we'll watch several waves kind of rotating around the base of that, pushing into part of the prairie here, but much of the precipitation going to be falling north of Highway 16 over the next 5 to 7 days. We'll see that in a moment, but with a track like this, again, here's the very strong core of those jet stream winds. This would be kind of two troughs kind of smushed together. Here's one axis and then the other axis back here. Again, much of the vertical motion, much of the rising motion, the cloud cover, the development of low pressure, the precipitation falls just kind of in the left quadrant here, the left front quadrant of these jet streaks. And so again, much of that north of Highway 16 with this current alignment. It's not until we get to the weekend, early next week, now we're seeing a further southern or a further south track being advertised 192 hours out into the future. So now getting out into areas where maybe we have less confidence here. So, the period of high confidence looks rather dry across areas south of Highway 16. It's not until we get into next weekend, perhaps even into early next week. Now we see the core of the jet stream winds. Where's the left front quadrant? Now the prairie is in that region where we could see some more significant precipitation. And that should show up here as we look at the precipitation forecast. Do kind of a top-down look here. We already looked at the next 5 to 7 days, and that should show the precipitation north of Highway 16. Well, here's our little area of low pressure right now over the next 48 hours running along Highway 16 with that snow falling north of that area, rain across southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba tomorrow. As we head into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, getting into Friday now, here you're going to start to see this parade of low pressure parade of little systems here where, again, where was the core of the strong jet stream winds? Right here. This parade just to the north of it where we see the development of areas of low pressure in that left front quadrant to those jet streaks. This is getting into Friday, Saturday. Look at them now. This will be another one here. There was another one here on Sunday. Let's see. There we go, north of Highway 16. And now as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we're deepening that trough. Remember, now the jet streak's down here. So as we head into the end of the weekend and early next week, that's when we could see some more widespread precipitation across the prairie. So over the next 7 to 10 days, just loading the accumulated precipitation, you're seeing this corridor filling in north of Highway 16. You're noticing the dry spot here. We're into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so let's go ahead and take it to the end of this 7-day forecast. All the way through through March 30th. And you see the dry spot here south of Highway 16 between 16 and the U.S. border. Not completely dry, opportunities for some light precipitation, but by and large, the corridor of heaviest precipitation well north of the prairie over the next 6 to 7 days. So total snowfall from our ensembles, the European in the top left, the GFS in the top right, and then in the bottom center we've got the Canadian model. And once again, seeing the highest accumulated snowfall anywhere above 5 centimeters up to maybe 25 or 30 centimeters in the core of that north of Highway 16 with trace amounts and even the opportunity for a few rain showers across areas south of Highway 16. Looking at temperatures, we see a push of cooler air on the backside of our storm system here midweek, but then we end up warming as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday along the prairie. Let's watch this one more time. Again, cooler air coming in on the backside of that trough that's bringing snow north of Highway 16 today and tomorrow. But then as we get into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting to bring some warmth over the prairie. Cooler north of Highway 16, of course, where we've got thicker snowpack from our active storm track this week. And then as we get off beyond that, getting into the last days of March, early April, the European model wants to bring a little bit of cooler air in here as we get into the first few days of April, but well out into the future we can address that as we get a bit closer, because certainly some uncertainty built in within that. So over the next 10 days, again, understanding that the back half of this forecast I've got rather low confidence in. We can put pretty high confidence in the next 5 to 6 days, or at least. That cool down here Tuesday and Wednesday, warming right back up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A similar look here in Edmonton. As we head over to Saskatoon, again, warming up as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, potentially warming up beyond that. High uncertainty built into the forecast into the first week of April. Regina, a real clear look here, again, cooling down on the backside of the storm system Tuesday and Wednesday with a warm-up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and beyond. Winnipeg, finally, a very similar look. That coolest day Wednesday, potentially lingering into Thursday with a warm-up as we head into the weekend. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday specifically about the Canadian Prairie. I do want to remind you, though, we did also post our Monday Morning Ag Forecast video. There you can find Eric talking about the evolution of the pattern over the next 1 to 2 weeks. So you want to make sure that you check that back out. Have a great day, a wonderful start to your week, and I'll talk to you again on Wednesday.